Just like Tony Romo, we're back with another edition of the Score Computer brought to you by Lone Star Gridiron, the authority on Texas high school football. Now, it was a rough week for the computer last week, so let's take a quick look at how it did during the area round. Well, last week I mentioned how much I hated ties, so I added an extra game, and the computer, well, it kind of came through. It got the winning record. It went 5-4, but still not as great as we were doing during the regular season. During the playoffs, the computer only 9-8. However, overall, a very strong 32-15. So let's take a look at those teams that were able to beat the odds. Well, the computer did predict it would be a high-scoring affair between Bernie Champion and Georgetown, but I don't think anybody could have predicted it to turn out like the way it did. Bernie Champion, the Chargers, able to beat the Eagles 70-66, and no, that is not a typo. 70-66 was the final score. Moving on. Last week I said Atascocita. This week I owe you an apology because not only is it Atascocita, they came in over to Round Rock and were able to beat the Raiders late 41-36. Talking about comebacks, well, look who's back. Denton Geyer causing havoc once again as they were able to upend South Lake Carroll 48-35. And finally, the big matchup out of the RGV, Harlingen Big Red lives again as they were able to take care of McCallum Memorial 49-35. Well, that was last week. This week brings us to regionals, and that means we're in the third round of the playoffs and about halfway to the state title game. This week also known as Valley Week because unfortunately a lot of my boys from the RGV usually get knocked out by this round. I'm hoping that the boys from the RGV can represent and maybe we'll get an upset in there. Of course, there's only been one state champion, and that's been these guys back over here on this jersey, the 1961 Donner Redskins. Maybe that will change, but it's going to be a tough task. Last week was 6A heavy, so I went ahead and expanded our choices this week. Let's see how the computer did in the simulation game. So we start things off in 3A Division 1. This game going to be played at Waco ISD Stadium. This game between the number 1 ranked Cameron Yeoman going against LSG's number 11th ranked team, the Grandview Zebras. You gotta love both those nicknames. Now, Cameron Yo, they have one loss on the season. The Zebras undefeated, but I'm telling you, the Yeoman, as always, peaking at the right time. The computer respects that. And it has the Yeoman coming away with the victory 42-30. Well, surprise, surprise, a Jerry Vance squad is in the third round of the playoffs as Liberty Hill is looking to get to that state final game. It's going to have a tough task ahead of them against the undefeated Waco La Vega Pirates. The computer really thinks this contest is going to be close, but it likes the Pirates over. This game's going to be played in Leo Buckley Stadium in Killeen. It likes the Pirates over the Panthers 28-21. I've been trying to do a better job of giving you guys where these games are going to be played at. Continue on 4A Division 1. This game is going to be played at Gerald Ford Stadium on the campus of SMU University, and it's going to be a dandy. It is LSG's number 2 ranked Cannondale Wildcats going against the number 3 ranked Argyle Eagles. This one has all the makings of an offensive shootout. I wish I could be there in person to see this game. Well, all the games as usual. This is the third round of the playoffs. They're all good. But the computer had to pick a winner in this very tight contest to be. It has the Wildcats barely winning 42-41. You want to talk about epic clashes? Well, we have one here in 5A Division 1. It is Cedar Park Vista Ridge. The Power Rangers have been really on a tear as of late. They had a very tough district. Do you realize that 3 out of the 4 teams that qualified from District 25 5A are still in the playoffs? I'm just saying. They're going to be taking on the Victoria West Warriors, who are LSG's number 12 ranked team. Now, this one, you can see the records. They're going to be close. This one, you have Matt Snow, Isaiah Valari. They might be just a little too much, but only enough to beat the Warriors. That's what the computer thinks anyways. 38-35. This game being played at Hero Stadium in San Antonio, Texas. Staying in San Antonio and in 5A Division 1, this one I have a lot of personal interest in. It is the number 18th ranked team going against the number 19th ranked team, the Vandergrift Vipers against the Edinburgh Vela Sabercats. Now, my cousin happens to play for the Sabercats, and again, I mentioned it is Valley Week, and teams from the RGV usually don't do too well against the teams from San Antonio on northward. Well, I'm hoping things will change. The computer sees this one close, and I hope for the sake of all the RGV faithful and for Edinburgh Vela that they can keep this one competitive, because Travis Brandon was on a tear last week. He has been on a tear this entire season, and the computer thinks that he will be more than enough to power the Vipers through the Sabercats 52 to 42. Well, if you got nothing going on Saturday and you're in the Temple area, I suggest you stop by Wildcat Stadium to see this contest between Lake Travis and Waco Midway. Now, the Cavaliers, the number 5 ranked team according to LSG, they have been having to deal with some injuries. They lost 8 Willows before the playoffs. They have had a few banged up players throughout the playoffs, but still, it's not just the offense that's getting it done, but it's that defense that's really standing up to the test. They're going to have a tough one against the Panthers, but the computer does like the Cavaliers and sees them rolling in this one, 46 to 28. Sticking in 6A Division 2. Oh, this one's going to be tough, folks. Denton Guyer against San Angelo Central. The Bobcats against the Wildcats. Number 22, number 28 going against each other. Now that Mojo is out of the playoffs, that win that San Angelo had doesn't look as impressive as it did earlier in the season. And Denton Guyer has gone through a very tough schedule just to get to this point. The computer has a built-in algorithm. It just takes into account the hard facts, but that's the difference between humans and computers. Sometimes you need to see the eye test. Personally, I think Denton Guyer is going to win this contest. The computer sees it otherwise. It has the Bobcats coming away with the victory 34 to 28. That game being played at AT&T Stadium. So we round out the show in 6A Division 1. We'll start in Houston. This game taking place in Energy Stadium, where it'll be Houston Lamar going against Dickinson. The Texans 11-1 on the season. The Gators, number 14th ranked according to LSG, 11-1 on the season. Something's got to give, right, folks? The computer sees it close, but it has the Gators coming away with the victory here, 34 to 28. And the last pick of the show, North Mesquite going against Austin Westlake over at Waco ISD Stadium. Kind of like Lake Travis, the Chaparrals, known for Sam Ellinger in their offense, but it's been their defense that's really been able to progress them this far in the playoffs. And it looks like the defense should carry them again on this day, as the computer has the Chaparrals beating the Stallions 38 to 14. Well, folks, it is going to be Thanksgiving after this one airs, so I want to wish you happy Thanksgiving. I hope you get to enjoy the food, regardless of where you're traveling. You might be traveling to chase those Friday night lights or see those games after Thanksgiving. You might be going to the college games to go see UT, TCU, Oklahoma State, Oklahoma. It's going to be a fantastic weekend for sports. I hope you enjoy your extended break. More importantly, be safe when you're traveling those roads. I hope to see you next week. As for me, I'm going to be going to Dallas, but as always, I'm hoping that the Cowboys win and Texas forever.